This illustration deals with the small appliance circuits. In accordance with NEC 220.52a, NEC 210.11c1, and NEC 210.52b1. Now notice this illustration kind of deals with when do we need more, say, than two small appliance circuits for the kitchen, pantry, dining room, and breakfast room, say. Now, if you review this illustration, this particular dwelling unit has five 15-amp general purpose circuits. It's a 2,700 square foot dwelling unit, as you see in the illustration. Now the square footage to be used, the kitchen is 8 by 10, which is equal to 80 square foot. The pantry is 6 by 9, which is equal to 54 square foot. The dining room is 10 by 12, which is equal to 120 square foot. The breakfast area is 8 by 12, that's equal to 108 square foot, giving us a total of 362 square foot. Now notice in the calculation, that's what we're doing. We're finding just how we would determine how many circuits would we need based upon the square footage of 362 square foot. Now step one, we're finding the number of 20 amp small appliance circuits. Now notice 210.11a as well as 220.14j is used here. We're using a 20 amp circuit, number 12 wire for the small appliance circuit. So it's basically 20 amps times 120 volts is equal to 2400 VA, which we would divide by the 3 VA per square foot from 220.14J, coming up with 800 square foot. Now, as the code states, there's no limit to how many outlets that you could put in this 800 square foot for lighting and receptacle loads. But I would point out that some cities, states, or counties, they may limit you, to a certain number. Say maybe for the small appliance circuits, 4 outlets on a 20 amp circuit. Now, this would be by an ordinance that they adopt, or otherwise the code says that you have 800 square foot, and when we apply the step 2 to this particular calculation, using 210.11a and 220.14j, we have two 20 amp small appliance circuits required. One 20 amp small appliance circuit, 800 square foot. So 800 square foot times two circuits now at 20 amps is equal 1600 square foot. So the 1600 square foot is greater than 362 square foot. So the solution then, and the answer would be, because the 362 square foot does not exceed the 1600 square foot, only two small appliance circuits would be required for the kitchen, pantry, dining room, and breakfast room. So this is a procedure that usually the test would use to determine how many of these circuits you would need. Without, a homeowner or somebody wanted more circuitry for these areas, then of course, the electrician would provide it. But for test purposes, then this would be the procedure that your testing agency used to determine the number of branch circuits, small appliance circuits, that you would need to supply the kitchen, pantry, dining room, and breakfast room when you're exceeding the 800 square foot times 1600 square foot with the kitchen, pantry, and dining room, as well as the breakfast room. So this figure 1-19 is dealing with the number of small branch circuits that you would need based upon the square footage of the dwelling, based upon the square footage of the kitchen, pantry, dining room, and breakfast room.